I'm Bobby Bowden, former head football coach of the two-time national champion Florida State Seminoles. Now, I've been blessed with a career that allowed me to coach, mentor, and share my messages of faith with hundreds of thousands of people all across the country for more than 57 years. To win consistently, you've got to put yourself in a position to lose. I know it sounds contradictory, but to get ahead, you got to take a chance. When it's on the line, you just have to go for it. We were winners at Florida State. In other words, I go to Florida State in 1976. I was at West Virginia University. We were winning ball games at West Virginia. We were going to bowls at West Virginia. Florida State was getting beat all the doggone time back during that time. Before I got there, they had gone 3-8, 1-10, and 0-11. The guy gets fired. So now they bring me in there, you know. So I've got to get that program turned around. And we did. And I think that, in other words, as I talk to you today, I can tell you how we did it, right? Now, I've never been a guy that thinks there's only one way to do something. You know, there are a lot of ways, but I can only tell you what we did at Florida State and the approach we took. Because even though they had only won 4 games the previous 3 years, we won 10 my second year. And 4 years later, we were undefeated. This kid asked this older, successful man, well, how come you're successful? He said, son, I'm successful because I made good choices. Well, how do you make good choices? Son, I make good choices through experience. Through my experience, I make good choices. Well, how do you get experience? By making bad choices. Pretty true, isn't it? Pretty true. We learn by our mistakes, you know. That's a big thing in coaching. Now, when I hired my staff, folks, I tried to find the smartest guys I could find. I want guys smarter than me. I'm looking for somebody smarter than me. Well, Coach, why do you even mention that? I know some people won't do that. They don't want nobody smarter than them. You know, got an inferiority complex. Don't want nobody smart. I want them smarter than me. You know what? Because if they're smarter than me, they're going to make me smarter, and they're going to make us smarter as a team. You know. So anyway, that was the starting place. All right, now the big thing I had to do, I had to sell those coaches, like I say, 6 of them were new, that I knew how to win. Here, we're taking over a school that has lost terribly for the last 3 years, even beyond that, you know. Now, we have got to teach them we can win. So I had to get all these coaches together, and I said, men, I know how to win. Now, whether I believe that or not ain't important. It's the fact I've got to convince them I know how to win, you know. And then I had to get coaches now, you believe me, you have got to convince these boys that I know how to win and that you know how to win and that we are going to win. Because, folks, as you know through experience, it all begins right up here in the mind. First thing you're doing when you're building a team or you're building a staff is you've got to make a commitment. You've got to make a commitment to what you're going to do. And I wrote these notes down here. A commitment transforms a promise into a reality. It is words that speak boldly of your intentions and action that speak louder than your words. Commitment gives you the power to change the face of things. It's the triumph of integrity over skepticism. Commitment overcomes problems. All of my coaching business and all of your business, which I know not much about. I know about mine. I don't know much about yours, but I'll bet you this. I bet you got problems. That's what life's about, is problems. You know what? The guys that make all the money are the problem solvers. The CEOs, the presidents, they're the guys that can solve a problem, you know. Be glad that you've got problems. Now, that sounds bad, but that's so true. You know what? As Warren said, if you don't have a problem now, you probably just got over one. And if you didn't get over one and you ain't got one now, watch out, baby, you're fixing to have one. Y'all find that true in your life? I mean, hey, we can't run from problems, man. They are there and they're going to be there, and it challenges us to use that brain of ours. The brain can open all barriers. The mind can get through all barriers, you know it? And if you've got a problem, we've got to figure out a way to solve it to be successful. Y'all ever read Proverbs? Some of you shake your head and say yes. Read Proverbs. You want to be wise? You want wisdom? There's thousands and thousands of books on wisdom. There's none greater than Proverbs. You want to be a leader? Read Proverbs. You want to know how to raise your son? Read Proverbs. My favorite proverb is Proverbs 4:23. Now I want you to think about it a minute. Proverbs 4:23. Keep your heart with all diligence, because out of it come the issues of life. You've heard of the term it. I see it a lot now. He don't have it. She don't have it. What are you talking about? You know, I'll never forget, when I was coaching at West Virginia University, I had this big tackle we signed out of Bethesda, Maryland. He was a high school senior. He was about 6'5", about 265. And boy, he made everybody's high school All-American team. And we got him to come to West Virginia. He was awful. Third game, we demoted him. We put him on the second team, put a little old guy about 210 pounds ahead of him. Kid that would fight. Wasn't very big, boy, but his heart was about that big. You know what? And that little kid beat him out the rest of the year. That doesn't mean he didn't have it in other phases of his life. Turned out to be a pretty good citizen. You know, but in football, he just didn't have it. You know, and that it, what is it? It's the heart. It's that little voice down inside that said, I can do it, I will do it, I must do it. You know what? I got a player that feels like I got something.